Hey, everybody, welcome to PVD Horror. I'm Dave. I'm joined here with my co host, Brandon. We're going to kick off a little horror news, get back in the swing of things.
Yeah, it's been a rough time. I think usually, to start the year off, like January, February, it's usually like a slow time. And then I think
Yeah.
there was just a lot going on in life between me and you.
Yeah,
And I
for sure.
think just also the film industry and everything that's involved in this, lost a lot of people so far in the beginning of the
Yeah,
year.
we have.
Rest in peace, David Lynch.
Yep.
So,
Um, we also lost the individual from Day of the Dead,
yep.
um, Anthony DeLeo Jr.
Yeah.
And yeah, and we just lost the legendary Roberta Flack yesterday, the R&B, old R&B soul singer. So
Yeah.
a lot of losses this year.
Also, you text me just the other day letting me know that Reggie Bannister from the Phantasm films is in hospice care, so that was a big hit, because we met
Yeah.
Reggie a few years ago at the what was that Scaricon.
Scaricon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they're making some new like news thrown out there soon. I guess they're coming back maybe.
We are going to find out in today's February 25th. We're going to find out, I believe, in 5 days,
Okay.
5 or 6 days, they're going to make an announcement. And we'll find out what that's all about.
Yeah. So back to Reggie, I think that just that moment of us meeting Reggie, I mean, being able to
That was
hold a little
cool. Yeah.
shotgun and everything, and then his wife
Yep.
Gigi was over there. So, if you're a big fan of the Phantasm films, you can send cards or letters to Reggie Bannister. The PO Box is 4387, Crestline, California, 92325.
I
So,
think that's really cool that they're encouraging fans to do that because, just to show their support. And I guess he appreciates it. So that's cool to hear that
yeah.
he kind of wants to see that. And I think that they had kind of held some illnesses that he might have been going through private for a while. But at this point, the fact that they're
Mhm.
making this public, it sounds like if you want to reach out and let Reggie know how much you appreciate him and the Phantasm films and all that, it sounds like it's probably a good idea to do it sooner than later.
Yeah. So, yeah, just, kicking things off. I'm not sure if you watched the SAG Awards, but they paid tribute to the horror Scream Queens, and I think it was pretty cool. There was a big video that they put together, ranging from Jamie Lee Curtis to Jenna Ortega, just touching on like all films. Like Jamie Lee Curtis talking about her mom starting off in Psycho.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think it's really cool. Horror has definitely been taken over the last few years, but with Jamie with friggin'
Demi
Demi
Moore.
Moore, winning the Golden Globes for, you know,
Yeah. Yep.
that was big,
The substance like definitely has made a big impact on the genre and people's
hmm
recognition for it. I actually think though, if we go back a few years to all the press that Jamie Lee was doing for that Halloween Ends,
Yep.
I even think that like we could go probably to that point and say like she at that point has been such an established and like well-known actress. I think that that press that she was bringing to a horror film, I think that was kind of a big deal that it was getting on some of the platforms it was getting on, and people were showing interest. So I feel like she's just been so instrumental in bringing horror to mainstream audiences, and I just feel like she continues to just pioneer that. So
Yeah.
shout out to her and shout out for definitely to Demi Moore and everything the substance has done for horror this over the past year.
Oh, definitely. And it's just, it's great to just witness this, and I think that for a lot of up and coming actors, it's definitely like, hey, okay, like I talked to one of the actresses on an interview, and we were just kind of like talking about things. Horror wasn't her big
Like passion or something.
passion or
Yeah,
anything, but
yeah,
it's like, hey, it's awesome that you can jump into this genre and have a good time with it, and it's also being taken serious now,
yeah,
so it's not just looked at like gratuitous horror films and just, it's on another level now, so it's a good thing.
yeah. And we just got to continue to stay focused on bringing all types of horror
Mm,
into, just keep creating all types of horror, not just one, like focusing on just like big budget movies, but we need our indie movies just as much. We need the B movies. We need it all. That's what makes horror so great, is just that it's such a wide variety. And it's so, it's such an enjoyable genre, in my
mhm.
opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And just talking about the film numbers and like the box office scores, it's been crazy. We just
Yeah.
had The Monkey, I think
Yep.
opening weekend, 14.2 million.
Oh, I got to ask you. So you went to an early screening of it.
Yeah.
Was that theater packed for
Yeah, it
this?
was packed. It was in
Yeah.
the X Plus theater. So that was cool, to see that film on that big screen with the best Dolby digital sound, Atmos, so
Hmm.
I think like I always say, like, those films and everything like that, having that sound quality and the bigger screen definitely pays like a bigger price for the film to as a payoff if you view it
Sure.
instead of watching it at home or anything else. So it was a great film, I had fun. It was a nice horror comedy, so Osgood Perkins did his thing again. If you're looking to compare it to Long Legs, don't don't do
Yeah.
that. They're
Yeah.
two different types of films because I think that's what everybody just when they ask me about it, they're like, "What's better, Long Legs or The Monkey?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"You can't compare these two
Not
films."
comparable.
No, it's because this one's like a comedy, driven horror.
Hmm.
So, did you watch it yet or no?
I'm going this week. I don't know which day yet, but no, I haven't made it to it yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. And I think that
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things from everybody on social media, uh, putting posts up, so they enjoyed it. It was a good time at the weekend for everybody. So,
Nice. So yeah, you were saying like horror has definitely been making an impact on the box office.
hmm
And I mean, looking at some of the recent films, that definitely shows. So you said that made 14.2 million over the
yep.
weekend.
hmm
And you wrote down some numbers here for some other films. Is that their opening weekend numbers, or just kind
Yeah,
of what
those are the
they've?
weekend numbers.
Wolfman did good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
They made 10.8 million.
Yeah.
A Companion made a sneaky 9.3 million. That
hmm
surprises me, actually. Hard Eyes actually 8.3. I gotta say, I went to see Hard Eyes at like a later screening. I think I went at like
hmm
9:30 on a Friday or Saturday night. I can't remember which one, on opening weekend. Oh, it was the same night you went. Well, I can't remember if that was a week, Saturday or a Friday. But my theater was
hmm
packed at 9:30 at night,
Yeah.
for Hard Eyes. I was really um surprised because I had to sit like 3 rows back. I had to sit way closer than I wanted to, but
Yeah.
I was just glad to, see like people were coming out for it. It's a nice date night movie, I guess, for, right before Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's a lot of people looking forward to that film, and I think that it definitely delivered. We talked about it. We had
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
ups and downs. It was a fun movie, but it's like, I think a lot of people, some horror fans were like looking for more. Like you
Yeah.
said, it's more of a date night, Valentine's Day
Hmm.
horror. And I think that we have to kind of like remember those things going into it. It's just like it's for the moment, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's like what else could we have had?
Right.
We have the same movies for Valentine's Day all the time, so it's like this is cool to add something new to that catalog.
I think down the road it will get a lot of appreciation
Yeah.
after a few years. I feel like it will have, like, like I got my Valentine shirt on right now. When
Yep.
that first came out, that was definitely not a beloved movie. I enjoyed it, but
hmm
it was, I think, mixed reviews when it first came out. That got its legs years later. And
Yeah.
now I think people talk about it every single year. It's one of those ones that makes the rotation. I think Hard
It
Eyes has that potential.
it does.
It's not a perfect movie.
No, not at all.
I thought it was fun. I had a good time with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like me and my daughter, we went to go watch it. At most time, it was really predictable to me because,
Hmm.
but at the same time, it was just like I don't think they were trying to do anything crazy with
Right.
it. But I think that like the first setup to the film and everything like that. I think that the first few acts it was strong, and then like the final act, to me, it just started to
Yeah.
like drift
Yeah.
away, and
I agree with that. Yeah.
I was like, okay, like,
Yep.
but at the end of the day, like you said, I think that we hold these films on a pedestal. And I think that we don't realize it, but like a lot of the films that we love, like we say, like, it'll have legs down the road, but the films that we love that are from like the 80s and everything, they're not perfect films.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? They're not
And a
perfect
lot of them
films.
didn't get well like
Yeah,
received when they first came out. So
but
we
we
have to
love
keep
them.
that in mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep.
And that's what we talk about. Also, like the 2000 horror films, when you look back, they get
Oh,
shitted
yeah.
on, but
Yeah.
it's like there's appreciation there. You know what I mean? Because of the time of watching them. So it's like,
Sure.
hey,
You
you
know,
know,
like a movie that comes to mind right when you said that is like 13 Ghosts. When
mm,
that movie came out,
yeah,
I never heard one good thing about it. I never heard people say they liked it. And now you almost hear you like see t-shirts made for 13 Ghosts. There's all these
yeah,
like people that are like, oh, 13 Ghosts was a good movie. Like, I love that movie. I'm like, where were you when that actually came out? Because I didn't hear anyone saying that.
yeah, yeah. That's a
And
lot. That's
yeah, ton of those kind of movies. Um, the presence, I didn't see that. I know you saw that one. That was 3.3 million, and The
mm,
Damned was 769,000. So that
yeah.
was The Damned the one that I saw? Yeah, I saw The Damned actually.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Presence. Yeah, that film. I think that a lot of people have been shitting on that film. Have you watched it yet? Or no?
No,
Okay.
your review didn't really give me the motivation to go. Not like you didn't give me a full review, but you just kind of said like what you had shared with me. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
okay. Kind of wasn't what I was first thinking. So I was like, yeah,
I think, at the end of the day, I think when, a film gets a review from a person that is able to see it at a screening and they kind of like label it as, oh, this is the scariest movie ever made. I think most films should not use that as their marketing strategy, like add that into their press line, like, hey, this is the scariest movie ever, because then you go into it and just like,
yeah,
this movie is not fucking scary at all.
yeah.
And I think that if it was kind of like labeled as, this is something different, I think people would enjoy it. You know what I mean? Because I had gone in, your expectations are set higher than what they need to be. And
Right.
they didn't need to be set that high, because I was just going into it like, oh shit, like this movie's gonna be fucking nuts. And it was okay. And
Is that the one where it's one long shot?
yeah. I think, well, no, not one long shot. No, there's a lot of cut up pieces to it and everything like that.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
just
All right.
the POV of the
Oh, that's
presence of
what
a
it is.
ghost.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There is one movie coming out. I can't remember what it's called, but it's gonna be one long shot.
It's already out. See,
Oh.
fuck. See, damn, I'm on the spot now. So it's on a Shutter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah, I mean it definitely looks like it's doing something different, and maybe they should have
yeah.
like kind of sold that aspect more than
Hmm.
being the scariest movie ever, because that's never a good thing. I mean it depends. I guess maybe there's an audience of people that are like, if they see that, they go see it and that doesn't bother them
Mm,
as much, but like for the horror audience, when
yeah.
that's said and it doesn't meet our expectations, that's like death to a movie pretty
Yeah,
much.
definitely.
Yeah.
You have Lucy Liu in that film.
Mhm.
Because I went into that kind of like blind. I had seen like half of the trailer before, and but I didn't see that it was like Lucy Liu, and then I think it's like one of the actors. I forget the father. He's from yeah, it wasn't a bad film. I think that definitely check it out when it comes out on VOD or whatever. I think that you'll probably enjoy it, because I think the stage is set different. You're not going out to the theater. You're not rushing out to go see it. So
Oh, he's on This Is Us.
yeah, This Is Us. Yeah, the father
Yeah.
from This Is Us. So that's why I said it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
So it was cool. But did you watch Companion? You seen
I
Wolfman,
didn't.
right?
I saw Wolfman. I saw Hard Eyes. I saw The Damned.
Okay.
I didn't see Companion or Presence
All
yet.
right. So Companion, that was a great movie. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people had fun with that. Uh, Kind of tie in what's really going on in the world with with the AI and stuff like that,
Oh,
all that
okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
So, I think that was kind of like thrown out there a little bit, but it wasn't, because I had seen the second trailer and they kind of did that, but there's definitely like a bigger type of like piece added to it where it's
Okay.
like, okay.
And The Damned, I would recommend. I did a little mini review for people if they want to check that out. But I thought that was a cool one if you like kind of like slow burn, atmospheric, kind of like pretty looking movies,
Mm,
set back in like a previous date. Definitely brings up some interesting things. Not like a action packed movie though.
mm. Wolfman got a lot of heat, huh?
I know. You know, it was one of those. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit watching it. I
Mm,
thought it was one of those ones I put some thought into, and I was like, all right, I can kind of see the flaws that some people are talking about, but I think they hated on it too much. I don't fully agree with some of the hate. I think they could have done different things, but this is what they chose to do.
mm.
Like it's
I,
one night. That was the thing that I was like, all right, that I get. Like they only show one night, one transformation.
yeah.
They probably could have like expanded it a little bit.
Yeah, but we that's the thing. I was talking to Angel, and I was just saying, like, too much pressure on a transformation of a werewolf in
Yeah.
the
Did you
films.
like the transformation?
It wasn't great. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. I think that
Sure.
overall, the look of it, you know what I mean? I think they want to go for like just a different look, but I think that's the
Yeah.
whole point. We've been spoiled. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, for sure.
With
For sure.
so it,
To me, this felt more like maybe what a half person, half wolf would look like in
yeah.
some ways. They definitely did a lot of like contortion stuff with his face, like at times that was gross and creepy.
Mm.
I think my biggest thing was like I just felt like the couple had no chemistry. They felt like a couple that would never actually exist.
No, I can see that. I can see that because it was just like the whole thing was kind of like different. Um, I think that was like a real couple. You know what I mean? Like you kind of
Yeah.
see some people like today. I feel as though that, some people really don't have some chemistry with each other. You know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
that that's what this was, and it was kind of like realistic, and I think they touched on that, and they had a kid, and she was, the breadwinner, and he was like a cook or whatever like that, and
Mm-hmm.
so it was a little different, and I think that they touched on it too, like when he was younger, just how he was with his dad, and then
Yeah.
kind of like going out into the real world and leaving that behind, and how his dad wanted him to kind of like be a man. And it's like I think that at certain times he just kind of lacked that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
So
was. Yeah, it was
yeah,
harder for him to follow that suit.
yeah.
And I know some people were like kind of upset because, like, obviously, the Invisible Man.
Oh
This
yeah,
follows
definitely.
up the Invisible Man, and like, definitely doesn't. I don't, it definitely doesn't compare to like some of
Not at all.
the Invisible Man. Also, like the Invisible Man had a lot to say and a lot of messages, but it was
Mm,
like it didn't necessarily like push them in your face. It was just like obvious. You watch The Invisible Man, you kind of get the gist of like the messages they're trying to send about like domestic abuse and stuff like that.
hmm.
But it's like also not being thrown at you. This movie, a lot of the messages felt like force fed to you at times.
Yeah.
Which I think some people were like, I didn't need them to tell me these things. I could get it for myself. But like
Hmm.
a big thing they missed though, was a lot of this is just like how the fear of things can like freeze us or make us like lack the ability to make choices or risks or just avoid
Yeah.
things. And they like I think they emphasize too much like the father son relationship and how that versus like showing how fear kind of dictated so much of their lives too. I don't know, there was some good things, some good takeaways, but I think yeah, you're right, it got a lot of heat and I think that took away from a lot of the film unfortunately for people.
At the end of the day, I think that this year definitely started off strong for horror. Last year we got some shit films
Yeah.
in the first 3 months,
Yep.
and like we've been spoiled right here. Looking at this list and the films that we just kind of touched on, um, I think it's in a good space right now. We got a lot of stuff coming forward this year.
Yeah.
Um, Also, for the Netflix series, yeah, R.L. Stein just announced today that Fair Street Prom Queen is going to be coming to Netflix on May 23rd. So I'm definitely looking forward to that because
Oh,
the last
same.
Fair Street, trilogy was nuts. So
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
you read Prom Queen, right?
I have it here somewhere. It's been quite a bit, but yeah, this would be a good one. And I think like the killer for this, I think we got some first glimpses that I think
Hmm.
we put on our social media of the killer. So like people can check that out. But this is going to be cool. I'm excited for this. The Fear Street, the first three were just like super exciting to have that even available. So like obviously
Yeah.
some hit better than others, but it was
Hmm.
just a cool thing to have access to and see that they're making these adaptations of those, super popular young adult fictions. So this is cool.
Yeah, definitely. And then The Last of Us season 2, they tossed out last week that they're gonna have a few. They put out a few posters with the announcement of April 13th is the premiere
Oh,
date for HBO
finally.
Max. So
Wow.
I'm ready.
It's
I
been
think
way too long. Yeah, this is good.
And so, what is it? I think they talked to the creators, and I think they're talking about having 3 seasons. So I think they're gonna, have another season after this, and then I'm pretty sure. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if they're probably gonna like split this season in half. I
Hmm.
hope they don't, and just play it straight through because, as a fan of the game, I think that they did a great job with the first season, and so the second season has just so much more to it. So I think that, for a viewer like you that hasn't played the games,
Yeah,
you're gonna be in for like some like wow, what the fuck shocked moments. You know what
I
I mean?
can't wait. Yeah,
So that's the
I've
big
been
thing.
I've been looking forward to this for a while. I'm glad that it's not actually that far off, so
hmm
it feels like that's right around the corner.
Yeah, so I've been talking to like a lot of my gamer friends and stuff like that about like how do you think this is going to hit? You know what I mean? It's like I think they have to do things the right way. And I think the cast so far and the new lineup that they've been announcing for the people who added on, they look good, I mean, but there's a lot of characters that are gonna have to they gonna play bigger roles. So yeah, I think that
Okay.
it's good. So we'll see what we'll get
Pedro
from them.
Pascal is gonna be back, so that's good, right?
Yeah, anything with HBO behind it, I think they always do anything right anyway. So
Yeah,
I think we're in good hands. So
yeah. Did you just see that skit he did on SNL for
no,
their big like 50th?
mm-mm.
He did that thing with the wedding where they're like they start singing for like the bride and groom, and they in the songs they're like saying basically that the bride and groom are like cheating on each other
No,
as like
okay.
the bride. Yeah, he was funny. He's like one of those people that is like he's disarmingly funny because he
Mm,
like when he acts silly, you just don't expect it because he doesn't look like a silly guy.
yeah.
But he's a great actor. I'm glad he's doing
Eh,
the show.
he's been doing a good job, he's been involved in a lot of stuff, and that's the thing, I think that for a lot of actors, he's been in the game for years, and it just takes
Yeah,
time to kind of get your moment, and I think that, he's been on a hell of a run, and
yep,
I definitely look forward to everything else that he has coming out.
yeah,
Imagine if he was in Wolfman.
yeah. Actually could picture him transforming into a wolf. That
That
would
would have
be
been, I think that's what they should have gotten. That
yeah,
would have brought more to the film, but
sure.
that's not even. I want to hate on the actor and fan, but yeah, we've been getting a lot of good shit, and I think that like coming up, year round, like every other year or something like that. I had gone over the year after the pandemic. You had gone, you just like little trips
Yeah,
here
I've
and
been
there
twice. Yeah, yeah.
to Halloween Universal Horror Nights. But they're set to open up shop, Universal Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas. It's a year-round horror experience. It's going to be opening up in August. So, um, it's gonna be pretty cool. The tickets are at a decent price. I think it starts at like $69,
Yeah.
and $59 if you're a Nevada resident, and unlimited access is for $99. You know what I mean? So for me and you going to the actual Universal, these prices aren't bad.
This is not bad at all. You spend $200 when you get your ticket admission ticket and then the fast
The
pass or
fast
whatever.
pass.
That's $200 total for those two things per person. That's which sucks.
See, well, that's not bad for you because you have two people. For
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
I go on, it was like four or
yeah.
five. I spend over
No,
$1,000.
yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean? Just for
incredible.
that
Like
one night.
and you have to do the if you are not are someone who doesn't live close enough, you have
Mm,
to do that fast pass. I remember
definitely.
we had that David come on and tell us about that it's recommending you do the fast pass, and that was like that's a
Yeah.
game changer because imagine if you didn't, you'd go to
I would
you'd
have been
make it to
upset.
four houses.
I don't even think it would have been four.
Yeah, those
Uh,
lines are crazy.
yeah. That Beetlejuice house that one year was like
Oh, I can
nuts.
only imagine.
So,
So this is announced, and we will be opening Universal in Orlando. We'll be
mm,
opening up that Epic Universe, which is going to
yeah.
have a Universal Monsters area, which is
Mm,
also supposed to have a pretty sick ride, from what I understand. And that's opening up, I believe, very soon. I think it might be even next month, towards
yeah.
the end of next month. That's opening.
I think they've been doing some trial stuff with some people coming through just to test it
Yes.
out and stuff like
Yep.
that. So that's cool. So overall, if you're a big fan of like just Universal monsters and everything, this is going to be up your alley. Because you have, Dracula, Frankenstein's monster and stuff. So
Yep.
it's just
Yep.
been a special moment. And I think that right now, like I said, we're just living in this moment where we've always felt like, hey, we were outcasts, but now it's like
Yeah.
horror is like the main stage right now on
That's
all
going to make
levels.
having that epic universe with that area is going to make doing the Halloween Horror Nights even, like even more fulfilling if you
Mm,
get access to that. I wonder if you're going to get access to that with your typical ticket. I don't know how it will connect because I know how there's like an extra,
mhm.
like separate parks in Universal.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. But if you have access to that, plus you get to do all the houses, that'd be sick.
And if, like we said, if you're on a budget and you live in Nevada or not too far, check out, Universal Horror Unleashed. $99, unlimited access.
And they're gonna have from what I was reading, I think there's gonna be four houses in the Las
Yeah.
Vegas one. And they had
Yeah.
some IPs, like so it looks like they had a Texas Chainsaw House that they're gonna
Mm,
have.
yep.
And then they had a couple other bigger name ones. So that's cool.
Yeah. So you can't beat that.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
want to hit on the next one?
Yeah, so this is an exciting one. Uh Adam Cesar's Clown in the Cornfield movie
Mm,
is we've gotten some first looks, and then they've recently announced a release date, which I think is April. Is
yeah.
that
Is it April 15th?
I think it is. I know I we posted it, so let me check really
Mm.
quick. No, May 9th. Fake news. May 9th.
Fake
May 9th.
news.
Clown in the Cornfield. So there was a little there's been some teaser trailers and
Mm,
stuff like that coming out. This is one I think that people should be excited for. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
yeah. And if that's not enough for you, Nicolas Cage is going to be back on the scene again in a thriller called The Surfer. They
Great.
released the poster and it's just him with a surfboard behind of a car that says locals only. So it's like
Okay.
I don't know what kind of Nicolas Cage we're gonna get, but it's like I feel like every film that he's tied into, it's just like Nicolas Cage, like you've never seen him before. Like you know what I
what
mean? It's
what can
just
we get Nicolas Cage doing this time? So
I don't know. Like
we
I can't put it past you because it's just like this dude's just like at the point of his career, he's just having fun now. He's just
yeah,
having the best time of his life. He's doing so many other roles. He's being taken more serious than he was on that block. You know what I mean? Because we were talking about it the
absolutely.
other day, like this is the guy. He made National Treasure. Like, you know what I mean? You
And
respect this guy.
I was reading something recently, but he was giving a lot of credit to David Lynch,
Mm,
his influence on him and his acting career. And if you think about it, that makes so much sense because David Lynch is so eccentric. So to be able to work with someone like him and
hmm.
just be able to embrace that crazy side of yourself and like
Yeah,
not have to contain it, that must be such a freeing thing. And he's definitely owned that. So
yeah, it definitely has.
you saw what is it? Bad Cop. Is it Bad Cop 2 that he does? Bad Lieutenant. Bad
Nah,
Lieutenant
bad
2.
lieutenant. Okay, yeah.
Did you see that?
No.
That oh dude, that is you should check that out. That is one of the most bonkers movies. And it's like a sequel to a movie that's not like crazy like that, but he
Mm,
plays such an off the wall character and it takes such a bizarre turn from the first one's oh geez, Harvey Keitel,
okay.
and it's like more of a straightforward like dirty cop type movie, and this one is just Nicolas Cage is just crazy in it, so it's definitely worth watching.
Cool. So we were also talking about this a
Yeah.
few times as we talk about like the public domain films. So Popeye the Slayer Man slaughters his way into our lives on March 21st. And then you looked at it and you said I think this is a different film from the other one
our
that we already seen.
well our buddy Terrell was watching Popeye's Revenge last night, so I was
Uh-huh.
like, oh, that Popeye movie's already out, so I looked it up. It is available for rent on Amazon.
Hmm.
So you can check that out if you want to. The reviews don't sound like you want to, but this Popeye the Slayer Man is a different one, which actually this is the one we had originally talked about on here before. So this is the one that I think people are probably going to be interested to check out if you are interested in a Popeye movie.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's
I
they
don't
got
think.
potential to make it crazy if they want to. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's.
speaking these like public domain movies are
Hmm.
just blowing up. Obviously, they're everywhere. I just got to check out I Heart Willie,
Yeah.
which is a one that's obviously Steamboat Willie. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I'm not gonna
Mm.
lie. I had a good time with it. It's going to be playing in select theaters for one night only on Wednesday, February 26th. So if you guys are interested in checking it out, check out to see what theaters around you it's located at. That was probably more enjoyable than some of the other ones I've seen. But
Yeah.
it just because they did more of their own twist on it versus trying to make a straight up film based on these cartoons and stuff. So
Yeah. All right. So now we're just gonna like hit on everything that,
the
just went
news.
through the horror news for the
Yeah.
last few weeks that have been people up in arms about it. And I know we're late to the party talking about it, but we kind of made our horror news post on the web, on the Instagram and the social medias about just everything that's going on. So first, we're going to start off with I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's another legacy sequel coming from Sony. We had some news the other day that, Jennifer Love Hewitt, we already knew she was going to be involved in this with Freddie Prinze Jr., but they had taken to social media and put up a post with, a letter labeled to Julie James, and we already know as fans what's inside that envelope. So I think that the marketing and everything for these films are, set for the new crowd. You know what I mean? I think that
Mm-hmm.
like for us, we've been through these films. My kids have been through the films, but I think now it's also their time to kind of take this to another level with a new audience. So I don't know. How are you feeling about these legacy sequels?
Um, I kind of waver at times. Like there was
Mm,
a period of time where I was like excited for some of them. Right
mm,
now, I can't say my excitement's like super high. Maybe because I also kind of feel like we've been talking about this one for a while.
mm.
Because they made this first announcement, it felt like over a year ago.
Yeah, they came up with a TV show on Prime,
Yeah,
and I don't think that hit the way they wanted it to.
right, right.
So,
And then they made like a teaser poster or something at one point in time. That felt like
mm,
that was so long ago now. I'm like, let's just get this film out. I want to see this. If you want us to watch this, and let's get it done.
yeah.
As of right now, I'm like, cool, but I mean, I'll definitely watch it. I'll definitely check it out. I don't have a lot of excitement at the moment, but maybe that will change. Maybe they'll have some teaser trailer that will like make us lose our minds. Who knows?
But at the end of the day, I think that for I Know What You Did Last Summer, they're handling this a better way. You know what I mean? I think that for these characters to come back to like hand off the baton to the next,
Yeah,
generation is kind of cool. But we've also have Scream 7,
yeah,
which is bringing back a lot of legacy characters
yeah.
and kind of like spoiling it, like that we've kind of wanted over the years. And it's like, oh, maybe they can come back, maybe they come back. And then now it's just put in a position where it's like they had all this drama set around the film. Now it's like, okay, our back's against the wall. What can we do now to satisfy this audience?
So I was at work. I have a young patient, and I'm
Mm,
talking like young. He's like 14, maybe 13.
mm-hmm.
He asked me a question that blew my mind because we started talking horror because he likes the Scream movies. And I
Yeah.
started telling him all the like announcements that were made. And he's like, oh, okay. I told him Matthew Lillard. I told him the killer from part two, right? That was the other announcement that was made. Is it the killer
Three.
part from part three? That's what I mean. Um, and he goes, isn't part three the only one with one killer?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's the only one with he's like, what if there were two killers in it? And that's what we end up finding out in the new one. And the other killer was Stu. And I
Yeah.
was like, and that's like why they're both being announced at the same time and making their comeback. Like we're gonna find out some reveal that there was actually two killers in part three.
Yeah, well, part three was supposed to have, you know, Stu maybe, but then it was around the same time. What was that? Yeah, because around the same time as Columbine and had to get
Oh,
scrapped.
right, right. Yeah,
Had to get
that's
scrapped. So I
so
know they were gonna do like a cult, thing. So
yeah.
I think that like you know what I mean. I feel as though that could be an option,
I was
but
like, for a kid to be telling me this, I was like, damn, dude, like that, you just blew my mind, kind of.
you
Like,
blew
that is
my mind.
actually like, that would be a nice way to bring them back
Mm.
if there's like some reveal that we find out something from a previous film. But other than that, I don't know what role these guys are going to serve.
Or he could have just been like, there could have been two. The other one's me. Take that, Dave. Take that.
You think you help me? You don't, be.
You motherfucker.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
I mean, what else are they going to do other than be like, are they going to be like cotton characters where you just like, you just,
Yeah.
they try to make it look like it's them the whole time, but it's actually not. I don't know. We'll see.
Or or kind of like what they did with Billy. And
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think we
that's
want to
what I
see
was
that.
thinking. I
We
don't
don't
want to
want
see
to see
that.
that. I don't want to see that.
Some aged guy in the back that like they're going to try to make you look young. I
My
mean,
father.
no shade to, Billy, because like, you know, but I mean, everybody's older, so like trying to make them look young is really hard.
No, I think overall in general, um, just that added on pieces to the last two films, I think those were kind of a far-fetched, you know what I mean? Where it was just like, all right, those weren't
Yeah,
needed to be thrown in there.
and even
And
like they scrapped the idea of anything being with Billy because they didn't even like actually utilize the direction that was going, right? Like they were
yeah,
trying to make it seem like maybe she had her dad in her and she would be the killer, but like then they didn't even bring that back up ever again.
yeah. I don't know.
I
Well,
think I think Scream has made too much news,
yeah,
and like that's put a damper on the film. Like you said, like I know what you did last summer. It's taking a while. We're getting these little like things thrown at us here and there, but it's very subtle and it's like kind of like not too much,
yeah,
right?
it's pissing everybody off, like the fan, like true fans. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because they wanted to be surprised. And I think that like if they would have had those additions added into the film and you didn't know, I think that would have been like a different situation. But knowing like so many months ahead of the release of the film, and I think that's a problem. You know what I mean? And then like
Mm-hmm.
right now it's like every day it's like this person has been added in, this person's been added in. And then so it was like kind of funny when they had that meme thrown up. Sydney's Prescott's Creed poster. It's making a
I
comeback in
love
the
that.
film. Like, come on.
That's the best.
Coming back. Sydney's dad. And it's like, yeah, I mean, actually, you know what? Sydney's mother's coming back. Like,
Right,
you know what I mean? It's
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
why? Like, just like,
Well, I almost feel like they're purposely for this one bringing back people to try to appease fans because
mm.
they're so afraid that fans are pissed off about Jenna Ortega and Melissa Beretta not
Oh no,
returning,
definitely.
right?
Definitely.
So, but I don't
But
think this is what people want either because nobody's really been excited about. I mean, people are
no.
talking about it, but I don't see
Yeah.
people saying anything positive because it's like you're bringing back two people who are supposedly dead.
Yeah. And then it's the situation's just crazy. So now you just have all these pieces added on, like, okay, like what's gonna surprise us in this film, you
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
And to me also, like the actor that played Sydney's husband, he's not returning, but you're bringing another actor that's going to replace him as her husband. And
Mm.
I think that piece is just kind of corny.
Yeah.
He's going to play the same guy, but it's a different look. Like, why are we going to do that?
Yeah.
Like, could have just scrapped it and said, hey, they split up.
Right. There
You know
was
what I
no need
mean?
for it.
Or that this guy, the new actor, what is his name?
The new actor.
Yeah, from Talk
That's
Soup, whatever the
Oh,
fuck
it's
his name.
Joel McHale.
Yeah. So you could have had added in like, okay, this is Sydney's new husband
And her husband
or
is
boyfriend.
her husband is supposed to be who? The guy from part three at the end?
Yeah,
The
the
cop
cop.
guy. And he looks nothing like him.
That's what I'm saying.
Not
Like,
even
why do
like a
that?
close resemblance. Like
Like,
they could have
why?
gotten anybody to resemble him that has like dark hair and like
But why?
yeah,
Keep it realistic.
there's no reason.
It's like me saying, okay, well, hey guys, we're gonna add a new person in, like fill in for Dave, and
Yeah,
it's gonna
yeah.
be Dave, the sound guy. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I don't fucking know,
Yeah,
bro. It's like,
yeah,
why?
I don't know. There's a lot wrong with Scream. The thing that they have going for them, though, they will never release a Scream movie and we won't go see it. And they know that. They
Yeah.
totally know that. So, like,
Hmm.
why bother going all out of their way to like do these things? They know we're gonna be in the theaters. They'll give us a free poster. We'll be happy with it. We'll put it in, well, everybody was showing it off. And that'll be it. We'll move on. They don't need to do all this.
Man.
I still got all those free posters. I mean, that's cool that they give us a free poster when you go see the movie opening weekend. That's
Yeah,
all
it's
I
cool.
need.
It's cool.
That's
But
all I
it's
need.
I think that overall, it's just, you know what? Just end this legacy and then just revamp like a whole new thing and just create the stab movies.
Yes. The stab movies people would love to see.
Just call it stab.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know, like do something different.
How funny was it? All right. So we did a screening of Scream 1 and 2 in
Mm.
January, right? That was
Yep.
January.
January.
And so we did a double feature. It was a great time. We had a great turnout for it.
Hmm.
But watching part two, it had been a little bit since I revisited it, and seeing the stab movie scenes in that were hilarious because I
Yeah.
forgot all the big name actors they actually had in that, like Luke Wilson and yeah, just like there was Tori Spelling, right? Wasn't she one
Yeah.
of
She
them?
was on there.
There's like a ton of people packed into those stab movies, and that's that they could totally just do that, like get big name actors in kind of like this almost like meta funny way to be the characters that we already know and just kind of do a film like that. There's so many angles they could do with that.
Yeah. And, we got Scary Movie 6 coming out. So there's gonna be there's the budget. It's there for it. You know what I mean? Just do
Yeah,
something different. You got they cemented their legacy. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it.
absolutely. Um, Interesting news. I just want to bring this up for people who maybe didn't see this announcement. So there's actually going to be a series based on Dario Argento's
Mm.
Phenomenon film, which I thought was interesting. And kind of like nobody's really doing that these days, like taking these Italian giallo films and
Mm.
turning them into different things. That's actually kind of a genius idea because a giallo is essentially like a horror soap opera in so many ways. So like you
Yeah.
could definitely easily turn that into a series. I think it's going to be more of like a teen horror series, if I remember
Okay.
correctly from what I read, but I could be off
Mm.
base with that. But I'm just curious, like, are there other films that you think would be pretty easy? Like Suspiria could probably be a series,
Oh
like set
yeah.
in like the theater,
The
the
ballet
ballet
world.
school,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody's done this before, actually.
I think they're just scared. You know what I mean? Because all I think right now we're just in that time. Like we said, the public domain films, the legacy films, everything's kind of accepted to kind of like mess with right now.
Mm.
I think that if you would have did that like a few years back, it would just be like, no, no, no.
Right.
A lot
Right.
of negative thing, but I think that a lot of people are, you know, open to different projects now. I
Yeah.
think that also film industries and everything are open to new projects now because it's like I said, like we're such on a big platform now where we're taking more serious, where it's like, okay, like we're open to this idea. We're open to this
Yeah.
idea. Like look at the past we always talk about having Michael Myers and Chucky and everybody being driven into the ground. It's like, okay, now we're getting new pieces and new killers, everything like that. So it's like I think right now we're just in that moment of where everyone's just gonna take chances and be open-minded about stuff.
I'm definitely open to seeing some more unique ideas like this,
Mm.
even if it is a film that already exists and making it an adaptation into something else. But like take some chances on that stuff. Other series news, I know that Dexter Resurrection is I think it's in post-production.
Mm.
So we'll be seeing that this summer. I'm a fan of Dexter, but I did fall off like later in the show. I think I fell
Yeah.
off right in like one of the last two seasons. It just became kind of like repetitive over and over kind of stuff like what was happening. But the first few seasons of Dexter are,
Oh,
I
well,
think,
great. Yeah, they
yeah,
were
I think they're
great.
brilliant. The John Lithgow season and Tom Hanks' son. Those are
Hmm.
like my two favorite seasons ever of a
Yeah.
show. Those are absolutely great. So Dexter Resurrection could be potentially good. They did already do a little
Yeah,
comeback
they already did one,
before.
and
I
I
didn't
don't
check it out. Did you?
I seen most of it. I didn't finish all of it, but
Okay.
it just doesn't hit the same. And then now,
Yeah.
right now, we're in a situation with the prequel, like you know what I mean, when he was younger, and I
Hmm.
don't know what the Resurrection one is really touching on. I'm not checking for that stuff really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like
And that's
I know
kind of what I
fans
mean. Like
are.
with Phenomenon, like doing something different and new.
Hmm.
I'd kind of rather see that at the moment than
Yeah,
revisiting this. But I'm considering it. I know I talked to you about this, but like Yellow Jackets just got added. Season one
yeah.
was added on Netflix, so
Okay.
finally I got to check out season one.
Oh,
And
okay.
I know season three just premiered
Started.
on Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Season one was incredible. So if
Yeah.
you haven't watched Yellow Jackets, it's the first season is now on Netflix. Definitely check it out.
I'm
Absolutely
surprised.
recommend it.
I'm surprised they put it on Netflix because,
Yeah,
Showtime now merged over with Paramount Plus. So they
sure.
have that. So I'm surprised that it's just like, okay, no, we're just gonna stream this on Paramount Plus and kind of keep it there. But I think they know what they have, and
Hmm.
it's just like, okay, we're gonna angle
I
this out a
think
little bit more.
exactly. I think putting that first season is such a tease that people will subscribe to Paramount
Yeah.
Plus just because they were able to check out that first season. Because I know
Mm,
I'm considering it,
yeah.
just so I can check out the next two seasons.
Mm.
And there's
It's
so many like watching that. There's so many actresses you get to see that like I didn't know that
mm-hmm.
where they really came from. And
Yep.
then like Sophie Thatcher, I didn't realize got her
Okay.
start on Yellow Jackets.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember her name, but the actress who's in Fear Street
Yep.
what started on, well, I don't know if she started, but she's in Yellow Jackets too. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's a good show. So, like Dave said, if you haven't checked it out, watch season one, stream it on Netflix and Paramount Plus, Showtime, and check out season two and three. Catch
Yeah.
all up. So,
If you like
definitely worth it.
Lost, you will like Yellow Jackets. It's
Yeah.
different but similar in some way. So
Mm,
that's how I kind of recommend it.
yeah, it's cool.
I wanted to give a shout out and let people know our buddy Nick Principe,
Hmm.
also known as Chrome Skull from the Laid to Rest movies. He's reached out to us because he is he's taking a break from film for a little bit because he got super into Muay Thai fighting,
Yeah.
which he like kind of fell off the grid for a little bit. Reached out to me, goes, dude, I'm so sorry you haven't heard from me in months. I'm like heavy in Muay Thai right now,
Yeah.
and he's like, so I'm, hopefully he doesn't mind. I'm sharing this. So Nick's 45 years old
Mm,
and he's looking to get into, kind of professional Muay Thai fighting. But in order to do that, he's got to pass all this medical exams and stuff like that. And
okay.
in order to do those medical exams, it costs a decent amount of money. So he's been trying to raise money to get the funds to do the medical exams so he can actually professionally fight Muay Thai. Um, what he's trying to do to build up some money is he's doing these fundraiser Chrome Skull fighting t-shirts, which we showed on our social media.
Hmm.
So all the money that he builds on the shirts is going to go to fund his medical exam so he can get into the Muay Thai fighting professionally.
Okay.
So I thought it was a cool way to do it. He's doing it all very like you go to your link, you go to the link, there's no like overhead fees or anything like that, so it's just he's sending you the shirts from his home. So he's doing this very like grassroots.
Mm,
So if you guys go onto our Instagram and you find the page, the post that we made about the Chrome Skull shirts, you can get your Chrome Skull fighting shirt and he will ship it directly to you, and that will definitely help him on this journey, which, good for him. He's found a passion and he's trying to kick some ass out there. So
there you
I'm
go.
happy for him. And the Chrome Skull shirts are pretty badass. It's like Rocky Balboa, but with the Chrome Skull mask on. Uh, so Nick's a great guy, and I'm happy to like kind of give him that shout out and help
Mm,
him out. So, and he's going to be visiting Rhode Island, he said, in a month or so. So he's going to be probably hanging out with us at that time. So
no, okay, cool.
we got some upcoming events we should probably announce.
Yeah, so this week, so if you're listening to this episode, come on out Friday night, Buttonwoods Brewery. We're gonna be doing a, you know, Fire Walk with Me event
Yep.
and for David Lynch. You know, it's just a nice little moment in time to reflect on, everything that David's been brought to the, film world and everything like that, and how he's touched so many people. And, like we thought that this would be a cool event, to kind of like shift gears and just kind of like stop and then appreciate the things that, people
Yeah.
brought to us.
So we'll have some David Lynch music. So either music he's made
Hmm.
or music from the films that his works, playing for a little bit while people kind of gather their drinks and their food. Then we'll be showing Firewalk with Me, but we are heavily encouraging people to dress up as your favorite David Lynch characters, whether it's from Twin
Hmm.
Peaks or anything else. If someone shows up as a Razorhead, that will be amazing. I would love that. Um, so yeah, I'm going to be in costume. I'm encouraging Brandon to get into costume. So we will see. I've been asking people, who's going to be your David Lynch character,
Mm.
and no one's really sharing with me yet. So I'm interested to see. But I'm really hoping we'll get a log lady. I'm hoping we'll get a couple of Dale Coopers in the house. We'll see. I'm sure there'll be
Dale
a Laura
Cooper.
Palmer somewhere, and I guarantee you someone will be dressed as Audrey Horne.
Oh,
So
definitely.
that will be a must. So yeah, that will be this Friday, and then we have our March event.
Yeah.
So
Leprechaun 4 in space. You know what I mean? So
as promised, we are taking it to space this year.
yeah, we did Friday the 13th in space. Like, why not? This has kind of been like a setup that we've been kind of looking at. We wanted to do this a few years ago
Yeah.
to
Yep.
line it up, but then we did uh two different films from each one. We did Leprechaun in the Hood. So it's like, all right, now this is all working out where, Friday the 13th falls a little bit before March.
Yeah.
And so we're going to space, so we're doing it. So, the Friday the 13th event was cool. And I, think that this is going to be a great event because there's a lot of Leprechaun fans out there,
Yeah.
so it's a little different.
It's such a divisive franchise. There's people who hate the Leprechaun
Oh
franchise, and
yeah.
there's people that absolutely love it. I'm on the love side. I think it's just fun, and it's how like I don't know. It's you just can't beat it. It's just a good time. March 21st for that one, Leprechaun in Space. April's event, though, this is a big one.
It's gonna be
So
crazy.
we are so excited because this will mark our first celebrity kind of in-house appearance for one of our movie night events. And
Mm.
we are super excited to announce that we are going to be screening on April 11th Basket Case with Kevin Van Hentenryck in person at the event, doing a Q&A, a meet and greet, all the good stuff.
Hmm.
So Friday, April 11th, you definitely don't want to miss that. It's at Buttonwoods Brewery, where all of our events have been pretty much. And it's going to be a blast, but it's also going to be a super I think it's going to be great because we're going to be able to do something more intimate with Kevin there. Kind of letting the audience be able to chat with him and be able to spend some time with him versus nothing wrong because we obviously met him at a con too, and which was great. But it won't be so timed. People will be able to spend a little bit more time in his presence and kind of getting
Yeah.
to know him a little bit the way we got to know him. So yeah, I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, he's gonna bring his little brother along, Bilal. He just brings a little special
Yeah.
little basket. When we had seen him at the CT Horror Fest, I thought that was pretty cool. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, wow, like here's the box, it's the
Yeah.
basket.
I
And
like
so
how he told us that he'd be bringing it too. Like that was he's like, I'll bring Belial. Like, yeah, I didn't even think of that. But yes, you have to. That's
yeah,
amazing. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. And like we said, this is our first venture in bringing in a guest for one of our
hmm,
movie nights. Well, like a guest of that kind of level, I
yeah,
guess you would say.
hmm.
But definitely not gonna be our last.
Oh no, definitely not. We already
We
have
got
plans. We're already in talks.
we got some shit up our sleeves. So yeah, I mean, our hope is to make this year a huge year for horror fans, for our
Hmm.
area, for our community. So if this is what you want to see, please make sure you show up and show that support. That's all we ask. That's all we
Yeah,
need. And yeah, I'm excited.
yeah, it's gonna be a good one. And I think it's cool. I think he's definitely looking forward. He's looking forward to it too,
Yeah.
because he loves to see his fans. And like I said, we had him on the show before. If you haven't listened to that episode, definitely go back, check it out. Just all the different things that we were able to talk about. It was a really cool conversation. and just the sculpting and
Yeah.
everything. So it's like, to bring him to Rhode Island, to meet some of his fans because there's a big basket case, fan group down this way, and everybody is looking forward to it. There's everybody's hitting us up saying, how can I get my tickets? The tickets are now live on buttonwoodsbrewery.com, or you can get them day of at the event. And we're gonna have two tiers, so the first ticket is $20. That includes the movie screening and the Q&A. And for $30, you get the first package deal, but this one we added in, um, you know, autographs or pictures that's going to be involved into it. So definitely take opportunity of coming out to see this event because, like Dave said, it's just the first of our kind of doing this with such a big celebrity, but it's not going to be our last, and so it's going to be
Yeah.
a great time.
So yeah, I think on that note, is there anything that we missed?
I don't know. I think we're all caught up. We've been gone for a little bit, but I
Yeah.
think we nailed everything down that we needed to in this episode. So,
I guess one last thing I want to mention, because I don't know exactly what day this is dropping, but also this week, Wednesday, February 26th, there is going to be horror trivia.
mm,
Um, I won't be able to be there, but Brandon will be there representing PVD horror for this. So Buttonwoods Brewery always has their Wednesday night horror, but every now and then they invite us out. It's kind of been like routinely around this time of the year.
hmm
And then we do another one in the summer. So we got together, made some killer questions for this horror that trivia that we feel is going to challenge some people. And yeah, so that will be 6:30 Wednesday, February
6:30.
26th, right?
Yep, with the one and only Sean Fitz. So,
Yeah.
definitely come on out, have a good time. It's gonna be a good time. So,
I'm
do it.
excited to hear how these questions go because there's some on there that I know are going to be super challenging. So I'm
Mm,
interested to see how people are going to do.
yeah. All right.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to our horror news. We'll be back for future episodes as always. I know we've been super interview heavy recently, but as Brandon mentioned, we've just been kind of getting caught up on everything and dealing with all life throws at us. So hopefully there'll be more of just our normal content coming up. So hopefully you haven't given up on us. And if the interviews aren't your thing, we'll definitely be, trying to push out as many episodes of just our regular content as well. So there'll be more of this to come, promise. All right, everybody. Have a great night. See you later. Peace.
Take it easy.